guys, welcome to Bachelor. My name is Joker with a face for radio and a voice for print. I haven't talked much about Andrew Tate other than the very first video I did about it, about him getting arrested and what he's actually done, and the fact that he had gotten into a scrap a little bit with Greta Thunberg and perhaps some uppity ups with the World WEF and some of these other programs decided to go after him. Well, he's still being held. He still hasn't been charged with anything, and every time they've tried to charge him with something, there's video evidence of cameras around his home that have kind of proven that he really didn't do anything. Now, and on top of that, a couple of the women that they said, oh, well, he did these bad things to the women, they came out and said, well, no, he didn't. And then the judge threw out their testimony by saying, well, you're probably caught up in this and traumatized, and so we're not going to take what you say as real. And he threw out the testimony, but they still haven't found anything to charge him with. Now, I think a lot of this, before everybody starts thinking I'm some Andrew Tate fanboy, again, I didn't really know of him until all of this kind of took off. He said multiple times he's moving to Romania because they're corrupt, and he thinks he can get away with more. And the irony is that because of that corruption, they may be well holding him without charges, and they may end up making up a charge so they can seize his millions of dollars and his vehicles and everything else, because that will go to the government, and that's more money that they can put in their pockets while punishing him at the same time. But recently, they've come out and said that he may actually have lung cancer. And for a guy that's a kickboxer and relatively healthy and keeps himself in decent shape or good shape, compared to the rest of us, I would think maybe he would know if he was having a medical problem. So maybe it seems very odd that this would have developed in 3 months. So could there be something nefarious there? Who knows? Could it be a cop out by him to try to get? Because he said multiple times, like the second he could take off, he's a flight risk. He said he'd take off to Saudi Arabia or something, the UAE. Just things are not going well for Andrew Tate. And this is one of the reasons why I think that if you're going to be a man and you want to try to get a good message out there and try to be popular and try to get your message out there to the largest number of people you can, you better be aware of the current political situation and what's going on in the world, and try to deliver the message appropriately, rather than challenging the powers that be and getting in their faces and trying to embarrass them, calling them names, saying outright that you're doing felonies and they're too stupid to catch you. So I'm going to talk about this for a minute. Before I do that, don't forget, tomorrow night, Saturday night, I will be doing Saturday Night at the Movies, 8 p.m. Eastern. If you join us over on Locals, there's a pinned post at the top that has the time in your time zone in your area if you're in a different part of the world. All you have to do is sign up with your email address. It's free, and you can come over and join us for movie night. Last week, we had like 250 people pop in. We had a really good time. I drink until I get obliterated, and we share memes and say all the things you can't talk about on YouTube. So I hope you join us over for that. And the other thing I wanted to mention is if you guys watched the video I just did on South Africa falling apart, I said, when crime goes up in certain areas, yes, you're going to get free stuff for a while, and it causes stores to close down, and it's going to cause you a lot of problems. Well, Walmarts are now going to close all Portland stores in March. Walmart is going away in Portland. Why? Because they're not prosecuting thieves. They're not stealing anything. I'm going to be doing a story about this as well, in addition to everything else that I'm doing today, so keep an eye out for that. All right, so this is from Breitbart. Andrew Tate to appeal decision to extend his detention without a charge for the third time. So he's now moving into 90 days. This is from February 27th, just about a week ago. They say Andrew Tate, the diverse social media influencer, former professional kickboxer, who's detained in Romania on suspicion of organized crime and human traffics, arrived Monday at an appeals court in the capital, Bucharest, to challenge a decision last week to extend for a third time his detention for 30 days. They go on here, and this is really not the main part of the story. I want to talk about him maybe having lung cancer, but basically they still haven't found anything to charge him with, but they're still detaining it, and they're still extending it. Now, a lot of people said, well, this is what happens when you go to a country like Romania, and it's going to happen. But look, the same thing can happen here in the United States. if you look at a lot of the protesters that were protesting during the January 7th debacle that we had at our Capitol, there were many of those people that were held for a year or two before they finally got their trials. Did politicians come out and talk about it? Did mayors? Did citizens? Did nobody? I mean, not nobody, but maybe you had a couple of conservative outlets that talked about it. But other than that, even the Republican political party just left them there to rot. So it's not like things would be a lot better here in the United States or Canada or Germany or Australia or New Zealand or many of the other places, the UK. If they want to find a way to screw with you, they will. And so a lot of the times when I say, look, guys, you're going to have to find the right way to fight back and the right time to do it. Everybody assumes that means I'm talking about opening a cabinet, grabbing a 16-inch or plus long arm, and that's not how this is going to be fought. But if you don't want to be a casualty, you're going to have to choose your words lightly and decide who you want to go against. And it looks like Andrew Tate screwed up. Because just coming out and bragging about how stupid they are and you've done illegal things, they're gonna find a way to punish you. So this is from Newsweek as of 5 hours ago. Does Andrew Tate have lung cancer? What leaked medical documents reveal? They say the American-British influencer Andrew Tate may have lung cancer, according to a letter purportedly written by his doctor in Dubai. The letter from Tate's general practitioner at King's College Hospital in the United Arab Emirates suggests he repatriated to the Gulf nation immediately. Now, he said multiple times that's where he wants to go to escape. So the fact that his doctor is there and that's where he needs to be sent for treatment it's kind of hard to say whether this is real or if it's a scam that the doctor's writing up to try to give him an out to get released and escape. Tate is currently in custody in Bucharest on allegations of bad things. 2 separate letters, one seemingly sent on February 23rd and another on January 3rd, days after his December 29th arrest, alongside his brother Tristan, and 2 women who are Romanian nationals, stated Tate had concerning lesion on his right upper lung. The alleged letter and medical report indicated possible diagnosis for the lesion and listed the test Tate had already undergone in December in Dubai, according to Romanian news site Spy News, which first published the letter in which the doctor appears to call for an urgent investigation into the lesions. Now, one of the things that's telling about this is it may actually be a real thing because they have the diagnosis and probably some x-rays or CAT scans or medical scans from before he was actually detained. So there may be some legitimacy to him actually being sick. They say the letter said his case was discussed at our MDT, multidisciplinary team meeting, and he's been scheduled to have a number of further urgent investigations or procedures, including a PET-CT, positron emission tomography scan, a bronchoscopy, and tissue sampling via CT-guided biopsy. The doctor said, "It is my professional medical recommendation Andrew Tate is urgently repatriated to the UAE to undergo these medical investigations without delay. Time is of the essence, and any further delay in the above investigations may have a serious negative implication for Andrew's physical health." The doctor's name has been withheld by the publication. Now, for those in the powers that be, they are perfectly fine with him being sick. They're perfectly fine with him maybe not living because of this, because number one, it'll be problem solved. And number two, do you think because of this criminal investigation, they're going to give the money back to the brother or the cars back to the brother and his brother will get any of this stuff? Or is the state going to say, oopsie doopsie, we're going to keep it, and they'll auction everything off and just keep the money? See, this is what happens when you think you're going to get away with all the crimes, but the crimes kind of get away with you, if you know what I mean. They say, according to the letter, which has not been independently verified by Newsweek, the former kickboxer, 36, complained of feeling more fatigued than normal and had a low level of vitamins D and B12. He also complained of increased thirst, passing more urine at night, according to the accompanying medical report. The avid cigar smoker discovered the lesion on his lung in March 2022 when getting a health screening to obtain his Emirati ID, and was reassured at the time the mass was likely benign, but was advised to get further tests per the medical report, which recommended a tissue biopsy. Tate and his brother remain in custody since their arrest last year, as Romania's anti-organized crime agency, the Directorate for Investigating Organized Crime and Terry people, investigates the charges of assault and exploitation. So they're looking into the two brothers allegedly coercing 6 women into producing saucy photos through threats, acts of physical harm, and mental coercion. Tate is also facing charges of the snuggle struggle after allegedly texting doing it with a woman in March last year. Again, I have to watch some of these words for YouTube. In February, Bucharest court approved prosecutors' request to extend the men's jail time by 30 days as the investigation was ongoing. 2 women were removed from jail and remain under arrest. All 4 have denied guilt over the charges. So, I don't know what's going on with Andrew Tate. I don't know what issues he's having. It sounds like this is a prior medical problem that he had before being detained. Are they now saying that it's cancerous so they can get him back to the UAE and it's really benign? Or is it really cancerous? And are they going to let him go? Are they going to keep him detained until maybe he gets so bad that he can't live and then he expires and then they say, well, problem solved? I don't know what's going on, but I can tell you one thing. If you don't believe that, all governments are corrupt in one way or another, it depends on which way you see it, but all of them are to some degree. And the problem with Andrew Tate is he insulted the government in Romania. He said that they're stupid, they're corrupt, he can get away with things. That's why he's there. So he insulted him, first of all. And then second of all, he started attacking, the media darling, Greta Thunberg.
How dare you?
And she said, hey, you know what? She's in a very powerful position. A lot of governments are using her as the poster child for the New World Order and for, the climate change activism and reasons to get rid of meat and oil and plastic and everything else. I think he maybe barked up the wrong tree and bit somebody in the leg and they got mad and they're doing something about it. I don't know. We'll see. But the fact that it's coming up on 90 days and they want more time and they still haven't found a charge against him, that's a little telling to me. We've seen enough weird things happen this year to say that that they're not maybe doing something malicious. I think that's just sticking your head in the sand. Maybe this is a case where they're not, but we've seen enough to make you start doubting things, I think, this year, and that's kind of important. I'm going to do a fun little video over on Locals, so if you're here on YouTube, join us over on betterbachelor.locals.com today. It's free, just for signing up. I would appreciate if you became a supporter today. It's like $4 a month if you do the yearly, or $5 a month if you do it by monthly. But we do a lot of stuff over there I think you guys would really enjoy, so I hope you join us today.